Teddy, you did the Stephanie Mills, you were doing, you said JT, but then he says, okay, I've got the guy stuff. Did you feel as if that was going to end the partnership, or what was your thoughts?
Well, you know, I was just there, you know, back then you have to realize this is in the 80s, you know, before the 90s, late 80s. Nobody was really thinking so much about the business side of it because we weren't, you know, we didn't have information the way we have today. And this is before TLC had came out and talked about and explained it. You know, they really took time, you know, Left Eye really took time and explained how a recording deal is broken down for people that didn't know at that time, if you go back to when she had that issue.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, this is pre that. So, you know, this is back in the days where everybody just say, hey, you coming? All right, you know? And to tell you the truth, a lot of great stuff got done in that time because the focus was the music. It wasn't the money. It wasn't fame. It wasn't likes or whatever these things these people are going after today, okay? The focus was the music. The focus was to make good music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
that could stand up to a Stephanie Mills, Aretha Franklin, you know, Brothers Johnson, somebody, you know what I'm saying? It might not have been the top, who knows? I don't know. But we wanted something, that's what I was thinking. And it seemed like that was, you know, you have to realize a lot of these things were unsaid. It was just innate. It just seemed to come together. You know, it's not like today when people were so calculated and he thought about so much stuff. Well, you know, you can make so much from a deal. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. I'm telling you. And that's why I wouldn't trade anything for being born, you know, the time that I was born, because people cared about the art of what they were doing.
Yeah. And I think as fans growing up, we could tell, you know, especially in the 80s, you had Atlantic Star, Midnight Star, SOS Band, you had so many, and it was just good music. It wasn't about the image, you know, it wasn't about the looks, it was about the vocals, the music, and it was just, and no one thought about the money at all. It's happened in the late 90s. But so here he's saying, okay, I've got Guy and we're working. Were you there when they were laying out all their songs, or was it just when Goodbye Love came about?
No, I was there when they did, when Aaron came over with Groove Me, and not for everything, just some of the early stuff. You know what I mean? Goodbye Love, of course. You know, I was there when Timmy Gatlin was there early on, you know, before he, you know, decided to, well, listen, I happened to listen to the podcast thing. I learned so much myself, because you have to realize, you know, like, it's just a different time. I don't know what to tell you. Like, when I wasn't doing that, I went back home to my family. I come from a great family, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, you know, I was privy to every little thing that was going on when I wasn't there. You know, I only know what happened when I was there. And when I was around, I was working and everybody else was working, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really hang out with them, you know what I'm saying? And oddly enough, I never went on tour with Teddy, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know any about the shenanigans of the touring, okay? So I have no shenanigan stories, I'm sorry. Okay?
No, we're not that type of show, no. And I spent almost 2 hours talking to Timmy, and he gave me his side, and that was fine. I guess I wondered, what was it like seeing a young Timmy Gatlin, a great writer, the amazing vocals of Aaron, and then Teddy? Could you see something magical happening when you saw them in those early days?
Of course. When we did I Like in Teddy's house, I knew right then that was something. We all knew it was something special.
So, because I remember Timmy saying that when Teddy came out with Groove Me, that he called him over to the house, and there was lots of people in the house. Were you in the house when Groove Me was put?
I was there when Aaron came over and recorded like the first time, because I believe he brought it over to him, and then he started. I don't know who wrote what. Okay, all I know is that Aaron. I was there the day when Aaron started singing it and started trying out singing it.
Yeah.
You know, and I love Aaron Hall's voice. I wish he would get out there and sing more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was, just an amazing. But those early days, were they? As I said, they worked differently as a team. You know, Teddy with the music, Timmy writing, Aaron writing and singing as well. It just seemed like you could see them being the next. I don't know who was big out back then in those days, but could you see them?
I didn't think about it like that.
Okay.
I don't know if they did, but I didn't. We just, listen, Teddy knew what was going on with his business side. I was just, coming in, as a singer, then as a songwriter, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And it just kind of morphed into what it morphed into. It wasn't really structured in a way where, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I just went with the flow of it. You know what I'm saying? Really, that's the story of my whole career, just going with the flow. But going with the flow of where the real music is at, where the real music is going, okay?
Yeah.
Whether it's coming from the producer or whoever it's good. And I usually follow producers because I'm a songwriter and singer. What do I need? I need a producer.
Yeah.
That's what makes the marriage of me putting out a song or a record.
Goodbye Love. When that was presented, how was it sold to you about we need you to not sing directly, but almost respond from almost like I'm out the door and I'm just saying or stuff like that. What was it? What was the concept?
There wasn't a lot of direction. Again, it's I know maybe it'd be hard to explain, but when you meet someone and you have a chemistry with them, and then you speak the language of music, I may speak it through vocals and melodies. Teddy may speak it through his keyboard and his vocoder. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You begin to develop a certain rapport with each other musically, where we understand each other musically. Mm-hmm. So once that is locked in, to me, that's called you have music chemistry with that person. You can make a music marriage as far as your musicianship and their musicianship coming together to create and compose a great song, a hit song. Yeah. So my point, I'm saying all that to say that, no, they didn't give me a lot of instruction because I was already doing what I do. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like we just grew together. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I believe they were supposed to be a duet from the start. So I do believe that I don't remember exactly if he said, "Oh, we're definitely going to do a duet," but it was a duet from the start. I don't know whose idea it was. Is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's Aaron's idea or Teddy's idea. I'm not sure. That part I'm not sure about.
And so you don't sing it to each other or singing. Or how he records his vocals and you join in?
We both went to the recording studio. We went to Tony Bennett's son's recording studio in New Jersey. And Gene Griffin was there. And he recorded his part. I recorded my part. And that's how we did it. I mean, we were both familiar with, that type of that technique in R&B singing where you ad lib to each other or you call and answer back. We were both, already familiar with that. So
yeah. How did it feel when you listened to the final product? I mean, it's one of my favorite songs. It's a pity they didn't release it as a single, but
we loved it. And then it was another situation where I believe some of my vocals were turned down.
Oh, there's supposed to be more.
I believe there was supposed to be more. I'm not sure that the version that's out now, I think you're hearing all of them now. Because on the actual Guy album, you don't hear them all.
Oh.
Matter of fact, I don't think you hear me on the Guy album at all on Goodbye Love, do you? The only part you hear is Baby Don't Go, I believe.
Baby Don't Go. That's no, but there's that Stay With Me, you know, that sort of
Is that on the Guy album?
Yeah, that I've heard I've always, because I asked Tim, I said, who was the female singing the sort of
You know what? I haven't heard it such a long time. Okay, well, it was more vocals. It was more vocals to it. And because once again, you know, listen, this is how the industry is, you know. It was a situation, you know, with Gene Griffin where I didn't come to the meeting of the minds. And I thought that was the reason why they decided to take some of the vocal off. Because I have the original on cassette and it was more singing to it.
Oh, can we hear it?
No, you can't hear it now because the cassette is nowhere. It's nowhere, and I would have to transfer it onto a file and all. I have so much work to do. I mean, I'm behind.
Okay.
A little behind.
Yeah, I mean
Teddy probably has it too.
I've spoken to Gene, to John Marie about some of the stuff and stuff, but so yeah, you mentioned no, but it was such it's such a, I think because it was such an understated, it was such a very, because you have Aaron singing, but the way the vocals were in the track that I've heard, it's really powerful, and you could almost feel the drama happening within it. But yeah, so it was, as I said, I told Timmy that it was my favorite song on the album.
We had a good time doing it. We really did. A lot of people loved it, and even though, and it's so funny about that song, although some of the parts were cut out, people still loved it, and then it ended up getting sampled a bunch of times. So there you have it.
So you mentioned back in those early days. I mean, you met Mr. Griffin. Was he intimidating to as well?
No, he wasn't intimidating to me. And you know, I had a conversation with a few people about this because I saw the Jacked series thing, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Gene. You know, Gene played two sides, you know what I'm saying, or maybe more than two sides. And then the thing is that he was the ex-boyfriend of my godmother.
Oh.
So I don't know if that was the reason why I never saw that. See, and this is what another thing I was trying to explain to you. A lot of the things that Timmy was talking about during Jack, I wasn't around during that time. That has to just do with Guy and what they were doing. I just come in to do work. I'm there to work. And then when I'm done working, I go back home to my family. That's how I do. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that, you know, I didn't want to hang out with them, but you know, that's pretty much the type of, you know, artist I am. You know, I go and do the work. And so, you know, and so I'm not privy to a lot of the things that was going on. And no, I never saw Gene, me personally, he was never disrespectful or mean in front of me. Okay. You know, and I had a conversation with somebody. I said, I don't know him that way. I said, no, he wasn't mean. They said, no, he was. So just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not true. You know what I mean? Yeah. And but I'm just happy and blessed to say, no, he never acted that way. He just acted like, you know, the classy Harlem cat, you know what I'm saying, in front of me. You know what I mean?
And that's what Timmy, Damien, they all say, that he was, you know, he was very well groomed, and he taught them how to dress and be immaculate and have a style. Did you then, when they formed GR Production, were you working on Abstract and Deja and Today and all that? Were you working on those?
No.
Okay, so when Gene came into the picture, did you work with Teddy, sort of take a break?
No, I worked with him, but I just worked on Guy stuff. I worked with Star Point. We did Star Point. And a few other things. I can't remember everything. Like I said, we did some stuff for Teddy has so much work. I just can't even remember it all. But I do remember doing some stuff for Star Point.
Okay.
And that was like a whole album, you know. So it was a couple of songs, like, you know, and I was there like every day at the studio with them. You know, that was one of my first projects where I was there on the scene. You know, we were making some songs in the studio, you know.
Yeah. And so he breaks up with Jean, and did you come with him to do the Jane Child, or were you on the Jane Child remix?
No, it wasn't on the remix. I mean, Jane didn't even sing on it. He just remixed it.
Okay.
The song was already out, you know what I mean? But he did a remix. And, you know, that was big back in that day. You know, you have a song out, and then it would be remixed by Timmy Regisford, which is the guy that did my first song, Hey Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or it just had so many great DJs at the time. But then Teddy, being a producer, he wasn't a DJ, but he was a producer. So he was doing the same thing in production level, remixing the song. The DJs were doing the same thing. They all were doing the same thing, but they were just DJs. They weren't producers, they were DJs, but they were like Larry Levan. I mean, Larry Levan remixed so many songs. They didn't call him a producer, but they should have.
Okay.
He should have got producer credit too. And perhaps he did on some of the songs. I mean, I didn't look at every record that he ever worked on, but that's his talent spanned it more than just on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.